Hey Grownups, are you looking for a way to boost your Tailblazers' learning experience at home? Whether they are ahead of the class and looking for more of a challenge, or they need a little extra support in a specific subject, IXL Learning has you covered, offering interactive practice in math, English language arts, science, and social studies. With personalized feedback, engaging educational games, and lessons organized by grade and topic, IXL helps kids learn in a way that's both fun and effective. I have heard from so many parents how helpful IXL's instant grading and progress reports are, giving them real-time insights into how their child is doing. Right now, Girl Tales listeners get an exclusive 20% off their IXL membership when they sign up at IXL.com/girltales. Visit IXL.com/girltales. Hey Tailblazers, I'm Rebecca Cunningham, and this is Girl Tales, a kids podcast packed with girl power and stories where every child's voice matters. Before we get started, I'd like to send some very special shout-outs to Tristan Middleton, Isabel Weller and her ducks, Wrinkle and Quacklin, in Melbourne, Australia, and Scarlett in Scotland. And I would like to wish a very happy belated birthday to Lena Anderson. Lena, Scarlett, Isabel, Tristan, thank you so much for listening to Girl Tales. I hope you love this story. Now on to our episode. This story is a fresh idea for a freshwater story brought to us by two different Tailblazers. We took both of their ideas and combined them together. The first suggestion is from Toph_Baythong. On our Spotify comments, they said, please make a story about the goddess Athena. And this is what Rosie had to say.
Hi, my name is Rosie, and I want to hear from Akari the baker again in the bakery.
So we combined both of those suggestions for today's story. If your Tailblazer has any suggestions or questions for future freshwater stories, you can head to speakpipe.com/girltales and record your suggestion or question today. They might just hear it on a future freshwater episode. Now on to our story. This is Athena and Akari. Enjoy! I'd like to tell you about a friend of mine. Her name is Athena. Now, you may have heard of Athena before. She's the Greek goddess of wisdom and war. You may have learned about her in school or seen her in movies. She's pretty well known and has been for centuries. But one thing you may not know is that Athena is also the goddess of handicrafts. You might not guess that because in most of her pictures, she's wearing a tough-looking helmet and carrying an even tougher-looking spear. And sometimes we don't think that tough-looking people are going to be good at crafts. But that assumption could not be further from the truth. Anyone can make art, and Athena was especially good at crafting. When she's not on the battlefields or beating someone in a battle of wits, you can find Athena weaving. Or playing the flute, an instrument that she also invented. Or, and this is Athena's favorite, you can find her making ceramics. We have a pretty famous craft fair here in town, each year in February. Sasquatch usually has a booth showcasing her upcycled goods. Cupid always has a table featuring their handmade cards for Valentine's Day. And Akari, the baker, has a stand with the most extravagant baked goods you've ever seen. We even bring in crafters from outside of Freshwater to show off their wares. Perhaps the most exciting part of the craft fair is the annual craft competition. Lots of fairs have competitions for their best craft, but in Freshwater, it works a little bit differently. Here, crafters work together in teams of two and find a way to make the other shine. It's not just enough that your work is amazing. What matters is that both crafters elevate each other's work. It's my favorite part of the fair. Tons of people and magical creatures attend the Freshwater Craft Fair, both from Freshwater and from elsewhere. And Athena makes sure to visit every single year. The first time she arrived, people were so afraid that she was there to battle that they closed up shop and ran away. But Athena quickly dispelled that notion. She was there for the love of the craft. She set up her loom and began to weave a giant tapestry. She used the most vibrant colors, and when she was done, she had created a work of art so big and so impressive that it gets displayed at the Freshwater Craft Fair each year. But the one thing that stood out the most that day was the smile on Athena's face. It was clear she loves to craft. Sometimes Athena's a visitor, and sometimes she has a booth to feature her art. At first, Athena seemed so happy to be in Freshwater. She'd buy something from all the makers, being sure to compliment their beautiful artistry. But in recent years, something was different with Athena. When she'd visited the fair, she'd arrived with a somewhat sad expression. With her eyes glazed over, she'd roam through the stalls and booths, staying mostly silent. And when she had her own booth, she'd glower at anyone who came to visit. And soon people left her booth alone. After all, she was the goddess of war. It's no wonder people got nervous about how upset she seemed to be, and wanted to stay out of her way. Last year, when Athena arrived in Freshwater, it was as a maker. She stomped through the fair toward her booth, staring at the ground with a sour expression. I was standing with Akari at her stand, snacking on a warm cookie. The cookie crumbled in my hands, and Akari turned to me with a grimace.
Oh, so sorry. I wish I had something better to serve that cookie on. I've been trying to stay away from paper plates and napkins to be more environmentally friendly, and I don't have a better solution yet for all the crumbs.
I brushed the crumbs off my shirt and smiled. Oh, that's all right, but honestly, Akari, your desserts are so incredible. They deserve to be showcased on something that's as beautiful as they are. You don't need paper plates. You need gorgeous ceramic ware. But Akari continued to frown. Something else was on her mind.
Rebecca, have you noticed that Athena's been a bit off lately?
I nodded. It was hard not to notice. Akari continued on.
I know Athena's pretty tough. She's the goddess of war after all. But even tough people need help sometimes. I'm gonna ask her if she's okay.
I wasn't sure if it was the best idea. Akari's amazing, but she's a human. How was a human going to help a goddess? But before I could say anything, Akari asked me to watch her stand and met Athena on the outskirts of the fair.
Hi, Athena,
Akari said.
I'm glad to see you back here at the Freshwater Craft Fair.
Athena barely glanced Akari's way. Yes, well, I come every year. So why would this year be any different? Akari paused. Something was up, and she was going to get to the bottom of it.
Athena, have you ever visited my bakery? Rebecca's looking after my stand, so maybe I can take you. Come on, follow me.
Athena begrudgingly trudged after Akari through the town until they reached her bakery. When Akari opened the door, the sweet smells of chocolate and hazelnut wafted through the air.
I love that smell. I think the new croissants are just about ready. Here, Athena, why don't you sit?
Akari gestured toward a cozy table in the corner of the bakery. Athena sat, and Akari brought over a plate of croissants, still warm from the oven.
Here, try one.
Athena took a croissant and pulled it open. A plume of steam billowed into the air. Athena couldn't help herself. The edges of her mouth began to curl up in a smile. Then she took a bite. Do I detect a hint of cinnamon? Athena asked with a laugh. Akari winked.
It's the secret ingredient. Don't tell anyone.
Then Akari leaned in.
Athena, I wanted to see if everything is all right. Lately, it seems like you're having a tough time, and I wanted to let you know that I'm here for you if you ever wanted to talk.
Athena was taken aback. As a goddess, usually she was the one helping other people. Yet here was Akari offering her help, and Athena needed it more than ever. Tears began to well up in her eyes. It's just, the first time I visited the craft fair and I made that tapestry, I thought it was my finest work, and everyone seemed to like it. You all hang it every year. And sometimes you give me a booth at the fair, but no one ever wants to team up with me in the craft competition. I feel so lonely. It seems like everyone always wants to work together here, but no one wants to work with me. I thought I was good enough, but maybe I'm just not. Athena sat back in her chair and sighed. She'd been holding on to those feelings for a while, but she was surprised to see Akari smiling.
Oh, Athena, your crafts are amazing.
Really?
Yes. It's not that you aren't good enough. I think honestly you're probably so good that people were intimidated. But I know someone who would work really well with you this year for the competition.
Athena furrowed her brows, confused. This year, she had brought a beautiful collection of ceramic plates, bowls, and mugs. She wasn't sure who she could possibly team up with. Most people were already teamed up, and those that weren't probably didn't have a craft that would work well with hers. She leaned over the plate of piping hot croissants toward Akari. Well, who is it? The next day was the Freshwater Craft Fair annual competition. Anyone who wasn't competing had a booth around the perimeter, while the competitors shared booths in the center. I beelined toward the competitors. I couldn't wait to see how people collaborated to make their amazing crafts even better. But a sight stopped me in my tracks. A massive line of people and creatures, all waiting to get to one booth in particular. But what was it? I had to know, so I jumped in the back of the line. Slowly, I moved up toward the front, and when I got there, I could hardly believe my eyes. That big line was for Athena and Akari. They had worked together all night to create a brand new line of desserts and perfectly paired ceramicware. Freshly made apple cider steamed from glistening mugs. Donuts sat delicately on top of perfectly round plates that sparkled like the sun. Cupcakes decorated with every color of the rainbow sat inside bowls so perfectly shaped that they fit right in the palm of your hand. Akari saw me in line and waved me over with a squeal.
Eee! Rebecca, you were right! I did need the perfect plates to go with my baked goods.
Athena gave Akari a hug. I mean, my ceramics are pretty beautiful, but they wouldn't be half as good without the perfect baked goods to go with them. Athena and Akari won that year's craft competition, easily. It was like their crafts were made for each other. They were extremely good on their own, but together they were able to help the other look even more perfect. The Freshwater Craft Fair has been happening for the past week or so. If you're ever in Freshwater in February, maybe you can come visit all of us and enjoy a beautiful day of incredible crafts. Oh, but I actually gotta run. Athena and Akari are teaming up again to debut a new collaboration they're calling Pies and Plates, and I'm almost at the front of the line. That was Athena and Akari. Written by Megan Bagala. Performed by Rebecca Cunningham. Produced by Megan Bagala. Executive produced by Rebecca Cunningham. Girl Tales is a Cordelia Studios production. Grownups, you can get access to ad-free episodes of Girl Tales, as well as a range of other shows for the kids in your life by subscribing to Starglow Plus on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to hear me narrate the original stories of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, or Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm, head to patreon.com/girltales and join Team Sunnybrook or above. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts. And hey, if you loved this story, share it with a friend. Oh, and remember, I believe in you.
There's a hill and a road and a path where I know you must go. through the sun, wind, rain, or snow. But wherever you venture, you can always come home. 'Cause I trust your heart, I trust my heart, and I trust your mind, I trust my mind, and I trust the friends, I trust the friends I know you will find o'er the hill and on the road. So off you